Master shots were introduced with the DJI R2S. At first I did not take this function seriously, expecting something like quick shots, which I don't use much. But when I analyzed it for a tutorial, I realized that it can actually be very useful, not only to quickly produce a short movie to show to friends or post on social media, but also to easily get some interesting footage of an unknown location. Let's see how it works. Before starting, double check in the safety tab of the settings that the obstacle avoidance action is set to bypass. You can notice a strong flickering that looks like propellers in the shots, but it's nothing to worry about. It only happened to me on the first hyperlapse. I then calibrated the drone, restarted my tablet, and it never happened again. I have not heard on the internet of any case of propellers in the shot with a Mavic 3. In the photo video menu we choose Master Shots, and then select a target by drawing a box around it. A box appears in the lower part of the screen, indicating an estimated shooting time of 2 minutes. By opening the menu we can modify the values for width, length and height by choosing small, medium or large for each of them. In this case I have chosen large for the 3 parameters, and the estimated flight time increases to 3 minutes. In the camera tab we can see that the only color mode available is normal, but I don't consider it to be a big issue, as normal mode in the Mavic 3 is in my opinion excellent. During the automated moves, the aircraft will rise considerably in altitude, and a message may appear warning that the flight will reach the maximum altitude, especially when choosing the value large for height. When it happens, we have to lower the initial altitude or go to the safety tab and increase the maximum altitude. For resolution we have a choice between 4K and 1080p. In this first version of Master Shots, there is no access to manual exposure, and this is something that I find particularly annoying, and I hope will be modified soon, as with the Mavic Air 2S manual exposure is available. The Mavic 3 is a model aimed mostly at prosumers and professional users, and the ability to set exposure manually is crucial for serious videography. It is possible to adjust the EV value, and I suggest lowering it, as there is a tendency to overexpose. After hitting the shutter for a few seconds, the drone will make some calculations about the distance from the target, and then start the series of automated moves. The first move is a drone, moving away from the target while rising in altitude. Noting that around the shutter a white ring shows the progression of the moves in percentage, each segment of the ring indicating one of the 10 moves of the master shot. On the lower left the map will show the path of all the different moves. The second move is a circle from far away. Then the camera face down while advancing, and gradually tilting the gimbal up for a revealing shot of the target. Then a circle from a closer distance, with some zooming in. Then another circle from an intermediate distance. Then a rocket rising in altitude, a fly forward towards the target with the camera pointed to the ground, a screwdriver move ascending while rotating with the camera pointed down towards the target. As usual, you can find all info about the Mavic 3 and the other gear I use in the description below. When purchasing an item through these links, I receive a small, tiny commission that really helps the channel. If you find the video interesting, a like is highly appreciated. It helps to spread the video. The entire 2 or 3 minutes of footage shot for each master shot is saved on the memory card. We can then separate the footage into smaller clips for each move and color grade it. I find it quite useful when I'm in a new location and I'm not familiar with. Before shooting footage in the traditional way, I can do a couple of master shots of the most interesting landmarks and produce in a few minutes some interesting clips to add to the daily haul. It can also be very useful when shooting real estate, music clips, and so on. I've also tried a couple of master shots at 1080p resolution, and of course the quality is much lower. So if you're interested in the raw footage, as it is the case for me, only shoot in 4K. The frame rate will be 30 frames per second, there is no other option available at the moment. I have tried different values for the options width, length and height. I shot this master shot twice against the sun to better show the difference. For the first one I've set the value for all 3 parameters to large, and as you can see the drone flies very far from the target, and the sky enters the frame. There is a huge change in luminosity and the footage is ruined. The second time I set all parameters to small, and this time the aircraft remains much closer to the target, thus keeping the sky out of the equation. Just what I was looking for. On DJI Fly App it is possible to generate short movies with music, with a choice of several different templates. Once we have downloaded the files to the album of DJI Fly App, the master shot files appear with this icon with a star on the left. We can visualize our full-length clip, which in this case is about 2.5 minutes, or choose one of the many templates supplied, containing music. Each template will select a portion of the full clip. As an example, this one will produce a short movie of only 15 seconds. Others contain titles, others are a bit longer. When we find one that we like, we can save it for uploading to social media or store it on our computer. Downloading and processing 4K master shots is quite resource intensive and my tablet was struggling a bit. If you're interested in the short movies and your mobile device has a hard time, it might be better to shoot them in 1080p. Here are a few examples of the same clip, processed with different templates. As you can see, there is a bit of wobbling in some parts and very uneven luminosity due to the auto exposure. This first iteration of master shot for the Mavic 3 has been probably rushed out a bit, and I hope we will soon see major improvements from a firmware upgrade. Click on this link to watch my analysis of video quality with the Mavic 3. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit the like button.